Hey guys, welcome to this video on how to improve as a chess player. Um, just as a notice, this will not be a video on how to become a grandmaster. I am rated about 1400 myself, a little bit over, maybe around 1450, both over the board and in online chess. And this is a rough estimate based on blitz, longer time controls, and tactics, and different measurements. So when I say how to improve as a chess player, I'm talking about how you can try and reach the level that I'm at right now, and hopefully progress even beyond that. So these are going to be points of improvement that really are applicable to everybody, and these are things that I've learned from other international masters and other people that I've been watching online and from reading and studying the game. So we're going to talk about three main things, and then I'm going to go ahead and play a game and try to apply this and talk about these principles as you know, as I'm playing, as I'm live. Okay, so the first thing that you want to consider if you're trying to get better as a chess player, and I think this is one of the most important things that's often overlooked, is you want to learn principles. You don't want to memorize moves. Okay, so a lot of people put emphasis on learning openings. You know, the Ruy Lopez. You know, e4, e5, knight f3. Okay, so what do we do once the bishop? If the pawn comes out, we move back, and then this pawn here, and then what happens if this knight comes out? You gotta memorize all the lines. Okay, you castle, he can take the pawn, and then we, etc., etc. So a lot of people are more focused on memorizing lines and openings rather than understanding the principles behind them. So for example, let's go back to this same opening, which is the Ruy Lopez, right? Let's start with the first move. Okay, and this is good to understand. If you're just starting out and you understand this, you'll improve a lot because you'll have a heads up on your opponents. Let's say you're opening up with e4. What's the purpose of this move e4? Well, first of all, you're targeting two key squares, d5 and f5. So immediately, by you placing your pawn up, moving two squares, what you're doing essentially is saying, I want to take control of these two squares, and I want to take the center. You know, I'm not just gonna sit back and casually develop my pieces. No, I'm playing with a purpose. I'm playing with the intent of opening up the center. And something very key that you'll notice right away as soon as you push your pawn is that you've opened up this diagonal for your bishop. So immediately after placing your pawn on e4, your bishop can be developed either to c4, either to b5. You know, in some regards, you can go to e2, bring your knight out to f3. There's options. So what's the purpose? What am I trying to achieve with this move e4? Take the center. Okay, so let's go over a common reply. e5. What's black doing? We always got to ask ourselves, what's black doing? What's our opponent trying to achieve with this move? And by playing e5, well, first of all, we can see that the move is basically a mirror of our move. So he's trying to equalize the position. He's now taking controls of the squares d4 and f4, and has therefore equalized as far as the positional gains or advantages. Okay, but being white, we're always a step ahead. So black has equalized. but now we get to attack, or we get to develop. So in the beginning stages of the game of chess, as many of you will know, we want to develop our pieces. But a lot of people place their pieces on the wrong squares, or they place it on the squares that they've memorized, but they don't know why that piece is there. So knight f3 attacks the pawn. But not only does knight f3 attack the pawn, it prepares, first of all, it opens up the possibility of the king castling. Okay, so we're going for rapid development in the Ruy Lopez. And it puts pressure and creates the possibility of eventually jumping over to g5, which attacks the very crucial f7 square. So on a lot of lines, and just to give you an example, let's say black is careless and plays knight c6. We go bishop c4. He does something like a6, right? He plays a random move. We play d3, and then let's say he does another whatever move. He can't do that, so let's say he plays d6 here. You can play a knight to g5, and then let's say he moves his knight again. We can now take the pawn, right? And in some lines, in some lines we can take with the bishop and even sacrifice a piece there on f7. The point being that our knight is on its way to that square, or is adding possible pressure to that f7 square. So this piece is not just placed here because, you know, it looks pretty, or because we're trying to develop. We're developing with a purpose. So knight c6, we have options. You know, we can go bishop c4, bishop b5. But what's the purpose of bishop b5 and this Ruy Lopez? Okay, the point right away is we're threatening to take this knight, which is the defender of this pawn. So if we were to take, if it was possible to play two moves, we would just take this knight right now, and then we would take this pawn. So what does black have to do? He has to defend the pawn in another way. Okay, so a lot of times what black will do is he will play d6, okay, defending the pawn. And now if we were to take the knight, we wouldn't be able to take this pawn because it's guarded. But what did we do also by developing our bishop out to b5? We created the opportunity to castle. And in this sense, you know, we get an understanding behind the opening. So we have to study principles. That's the whole point. Why are our pieces there? Why is this a good square? We have to not just look at the theory, but understand the ideas behind them. Okay, and that's going to be my first tip. The second tip that I'm going to give is think moves through. Don't just play to play them. Don't just play based on instinct. One of the problems with playing a lot of blitz, and this is a mistake that some players will make, is that they'll play a lot of blitz online, 5-minute chess, 10-minute chess. And what happens when you play a lot of blitz is that you get used to reacting based on instinct, moving based on instinct, and not thinking your moves through. The way you improve as a chess player is that you play longer time controls, longer time games. Why? Because you have an opportunity to look at the position, to understand the position, to figure out continuations to your move responses. So you think your moves through. You're not just moving because you think that it's a good move or because it looks good. So you want to not move based on instinct. You want to move having analyzed and followed through and looked at the responses. Okay? So that's going to be my second tip. And my third tip is going to be analyze your games. Okay, this is very important. After you're done playing, win or lose, and I say this with all honesty, win or lose, it doesn't matter if you lost the game or you won the game. Look at your games. Take a moment. Don't jump onto the next game online. Take a look at your games and see where you could have improved. See where you messed up. See what your options were. And there's a lot of online tools for analysis. But one great one that I like to use is Lichess. Okay, lichess.org/paste. And then in that website you can just basically download your PGN file, paste it on there, and it'll look through the best variations. Okay, so those are the 3 principles I want to go over. Learn principles, learn ideas, don't memorize openings and move orders. 2, think your moves through. Don't just play based on instinct, but look at the follow through. And 3, analyze your games. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump on board here and play a quick game on chess.com. And as I'm playing, I'm gonna try to speak through these things. Okay, so the opponent right away I know is rated about 100 points higher than me, so I know he could probably outplay me in theory. So I'm gonna try to play an opening that's not that well known, which is English. At least it's a little bit less known than e4. He responds e5. He's trying to take the center again. Knight c3. I'm trying to keep control over the light squares. B7 lets me know. I'm sorry, B6 lets me know he's gonna fianchetto his bishop there, which is often a common plan for white to fianchetto. So he's basically trying to counter white's plan. Now here I have a couple options. I could go on. I could play knight f3, for example, attacking the pawn. I could push e4. But I think I'm just gonna go with knight f3 and attack the pawn, see what he does, because I don't have that much time here. Now that his knight's out, he's covering this square, so that means that I could very likely fianchetto my bishop. There he is. So I'm just gonna be fianchetto. And again, blitz is not the best for thinking moves through, just because you're kind of limited in time. But it's still good for learning the principles, you know? It's still good for reinforcement. So right now I'm thinking d4. Hold on. I'm thinking d4 takes. If he takes with the knight, I can take his rook. So I'm going d4. And then if he doesn't take it, that's what I thought. If he doesn't take it, I can probably play knight here. I'm attacking the pawn 3 ways, with the bishop, with this knight, and with this knight. So if I would have just moved based on instinct, I probably would have castled last move, and I would have missed the fact that I could have played d4. So this is the importance of thinking moves through. I'm also trying to put my pieces on key squares. So he's attacking my knight. Now I take his knight. I don't know if I should take with the bishop or the knight. I mean, my knight in the center is kind of awkwardly placed. I'm not sure. I think I'll go ahead and take with the knight and leave my bishop tucked in there. Okay. So he is bringing his bishop, fianchettoing his bishop. I probably should have taken with the bishop, not looking at it, and then played queen to a3, and then pinned the knight down to the king. That would have been a better plan, but I missed it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and castle. He's playing there. So obviously he's getting ready to castle, right? I do want to finish my development. I'm also getting ideas of f4 and starting at a king side pawn storm. My knight is also not well placed there. So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if maybe I could still play queen a3, then come in here with the check later. Maybe it's a possibility. I'm not sure. I'm also taking too much time. I'm thinking d5, just grabbing more space. He goes there, I can play f4. If he takes my pawn. Yeah, so I'm kind of beating him. If I play f4 and he takes the pawn, I have this check. And then if I check him there, he can't go back with the knight, so I'm gonna go for that. Yeah, he saw it. I do have more space though now, so I like that. And I could probably check him and at least, at the minimum, force him to trade queens, which could be beneficial for me, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. I might just want to keep the queens on board and keep the pressure going, you know. So for now, you know what, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's force him, and then he won't be able to castle, and I'm up a pawn. If anything, I'll go into a better endgame. But I gotta manage my time better now. Okay, so I'm not sure what his plan is. He probably wants to play c6. I'm just gonna bring my pawns in. Interesting move. I don't like it. Just bring my knight back. Defend the pawn. Not sure what he's planning on doing. So I probably won't go through the analysis phase right now. Oh, he blundered big time. He blundered big time. Should I just take everything off? Yeah, let's just simplify the game. See if he trades me some more. I'm threatening rook here. Yeah, rook there. Knight out. I probably should have taken his bishop. Not liking that. Let's take the bishop. And then let's play e4. Let's bring the king up. Just add a defender to this square. There's no rush really. I don't see any way he can break through. He could try that, of course. I don't like the fact that he's getting some activity, but I could just defend. Okay, works for me. Let's bring the king up. Prevent that guy from moving anymore. And then I'll probably want to bring a rook back here, take control of that file again. My knight's not doing much right now. I gotta reroute him. Yeah, I probably just want to play here, then here. So if you notice, I just identified the piece wasn't very well placed. So now he's looking for a better home. I'll take that any day, buddy. I may want to trade. Did I want to trade? I'm not sure if I want to trade, honestly. Threatening to double up. You probably want to trade. Then I come back here. Okay, beautiful. Actually, not that beautiful. Gotta play faster. Oh my god, I just gave up my rook. I can't believe he missed it. I cannot believe he missed it. So that just shows you how you can blunder. And I'm glad I caught that too. And it's game over. I'm just gonna bring my knight. That was a good checkmate, man. I like that game. And if you noticed, I did blunder a piece. Let's go back a couple 100 moves. So yeah, here he pushes the pawn and I move the knight. He could have taken my rook. I'm not sure what I should have done here. I probably should have just traded rooks. And then something like, I'm thinking either check or just simply knight back. I don't like the fact that he gets the activity on this file though. But let's say something like this, king up, and then I don't know, here, preventing the rook from coming in. I'm sure I could figure out a way to defend. But anyways, I don't want to make this video longer than it already is. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something from it. And it's gonna be until next time. Roth Chess. Take care, guys.